Welcome to K-Drama Divas, a podcast and community for passionate fans of Korean dramas. Join us as we explore the captivating world of K-dramas, discussing the latest releases, timeless classics, and everything in between. Whether you're a seasoned K-drama addict or just stepping into this addictive realm, get ready to laugh, cry, and fangirl with the K-Drama Divas. You're listening to the K-Drama Divas. My name's Amanda.
I'm Maureen.
I'm Serina.
And it's Monday night. And we're podcasting. It's not Monday. What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
Should I delete or keep it? I don't know.
See how it flows.
All right. So we're back to our discussion of because this is my first life.
Well, we're not back to the discussion because did we really talk about it last time?
We don't need our personal history
No.
this week. Or do we? I'm just kidding.
Recap.
We bored ourselves enough. If you made it through last week's podcast, congratulations.
Yes.
The surprise. No.
Next November. Okay. All right. Because this is my first life. Who wants to summarize it? Anyone? How do you summarize it?
I
don't know if
know.
you can
How?
summarize it.
I can tell you what this says.
Okay.
It's just two sentences,
Oh, dear.
or one sentence, actually. To save money, two housemates get married, but soon face unexpected complications, such as demanding in-laws and having to face their own growing bond.
Oh, that's true. That's good.
And then
Short and sweet.
also, I loved the secondary characters.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
already jumping into that.
Well, so the first time I watched it, loved it, obviously. The second time I watched it, I love it more.
Yeah.
And I feel like I got so much more from the story the
Don't you
second
feel
time
that? I
around.
feel that way a lot
Yes.
about them because I think the first time I'm just trying to understand everything. And then the second time I can watch more what's going on and everything versus just focusing on the words and trying to
Right.
figure out who people are. So I think a lot of them, if I watch it a second time, I way enjoy it more the second time.
Yeah.
So
I don't watch a lot of them twice.
I don't either anymore. I
mean,
used to.
I guess I used to too, but now there's no time.
Exactly.
It's all because of this podcast. I ruined us. But so I really, though, like this time around, I was like, wow, it's really about the three friends, right? The female lead mostly, but so three friends and their life and how it hasn't gone as planned for any of them.
Right.
They're all in a
You're right.
place where they didn't think they'd ever be.
Yeah.
And life has not met any of their expectations. And
And one of them thought that she was in a spot where it was meeting her expectations, and then she realized it wasn't. So, it just changed everything.
which character are you talking about?
I'm talking about now I have to find her name, or do you want? She's the one that has the current boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her name is, let me see, Yang Ho Rong
No.
Yes, that is her name.
in the drama.
Yes.
Okay, you are correct.
But
What?
I'm not sure it's pronounced that way.
How is it pronounced?
They pronounce it better.
I know, but can you help
Well,
me?
ours are
I don't know,
L's.
but the Ron
Yeah.
at the end, I know that's her because I remember that.
Wrong. Wrong. Young
Yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Okay. Yeah, because she's the one, she wants to get married.
Right.
Yes.
And that's like her whole life's ambition.
And she has a boyfriend, and they love each other to death. They
Well, they
can't
live
live
together.
They live, yeah. They just seem to have a great relationship. So it seems.
I don't know if I like him.
I know.
It's like I want to like him.
I
like
know.
even I remember the first time around I didn't really enjoy him.
Really?
The second time around I still don't enjoy him.
Well, you know what?
I was mad at him. Just
Yes.
marry the girl already.
Yes.
But I get that I don't know.
I think he had a lot. He must have. They don't go into it, but I'm assuming that his family life probably maybe wasn't the greatest. So he has a lot of inhibitions, and it's not that he doesn't want to. I think he just is scared and doesn't really know what really, that's the question. What really is love? And is love and marriage different? Because I think that she puts a lot of pressure on him too.
I didn't necessarily like her either.
I know. I didn't either. That's the truth, though. I didn't like her either because she does put a lot of pressure on him. You're right.
Yes.
And maybe that being said, you don't blame him, but it's just a long time to keep someone waiting. That bugged me.
They've dated for 7 years. 7 years.
That is a very long time.
Yes.
I couldn't handle 1 year.
7 years.
But if you have somebody and there are a lot of people out there, if you love each other,
it doesn't
why
matter.
do you need a piece of paper?
Yeah.
You know? So maybe that kind of is where
Because you do need a
came
piece
from.
of paper.
That's what this kind of dives into. This part of this drama is what is marriage, and the female lead is dealing with that. She's curious about what marriage is and what love is because she's never had it. And then,
even though her family life was fine, it wasn't like her parents were divorced or had a bad relationship or anything.
No, but her father was very
overbearing.
Yes, extremely.
And it was his way or no way. And so her mom, she looked at her mom as getting walked over and being unhappy. And she never thought of her parents as being in love, even though she finds out later that they were. But so I think
it's basically like it's kind of like how much bad can happen to her because she even bought her house. That her brother lives with her and she has to give him her house.
Well, her father made her put the house in her brother's name.
Because he's the oldest son.
Even though she is the oldest child.
Yeah, and even though she made the payments on the house.
Yes.
So you just feel for her because her brother, they live together. Her brother gets a girl pregnant and they get married. And then we're going to live with you. And she thinks, no, you're not. I'm not going to live with you.
But at least she had the wherewithal to stand up for herself at that point.
And even when she's leaving, the girlfriend comes out, or the wife then comes out and says, you could live with us. You could live with us. And she says, why? So that I can be your babysitter?
And clean the house.
And clean the house?
Do everything.
No.
Because she didn't want to leave the gal who was pregnant, her now sister-in-law, she can't live there and make her do everything. But it's funny, she can leave and let her do everything. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that's funny.
So she leaves and she's thinking, I've got to find a place.
Yeah.
But at this point, she has no money because her writing job has...
And that's something else. She's an assistant writer for what is it?
A drama.
Yes, a drama.
And and that sounds it sounds like a great, amazing job, but it's not. I guess as an assistant, you don't make much money. They don't really pay attention to your ideas or change everything. And there's even comments from the guy that she likes about how someone that graduates from Seoul University wouldn't be an assistant writer. I guess graduating from Seoul University is like graduating from Harvard here.
Yes.
It's top notch.
It is.
Everybody
and that was
wants to
something
go.
else that her father did not want her to go to Seoul National University. He wanted her to go to a hometown university.
And it just shows what he thinks of her value. And it's really quite sad. And I don't know if this is really how things are. Maybe with every family is different. So just like here, you'd have families that are different, but it's so sad, really.
Yeah. And I'm sure that all of this happens in the States too.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
And
so actually her friend that we already were talking about, her boyfriend mentions that his friend has a vacancy in his home, his apartment, because it was like it was a bad a renter for him, right?
Isn't it? It's not his friend, though.
It's not his friend. It's his
friend's
friend's friend. Yes.
It's like his mentor.
Yes.
That's how this whole mishap started.
Yes, exactly. And it is a big mishap.
Yes.
But anyway,
she moves in.
She moves in. It's like they both have names that could suit the other gender.
They're gender neutral names.
Right.
Yes. So he's got a name that could be a feminine name, and she's got a name that could be a masculine name.
And so they both think they're living with the same gender, but they're not. And they keep missing each other.
He gets up early and comes home late, and she sleeps all day long, and so they totally miss each other.
How long is it? Like a week or what?
I think it's a good week.
At least a week.
A good week. And he's so pleased.
Oh my
gosh,
he is ecstatic.
He says she's the best roommate I've ever had.
He's the best roommate I've ever had. This place is immaculate.
He wants everything done.
Yes.
He has his idea of how he wants everything, which it's his house. He can do as he pleases. Mm-hmm. He's never had anybody that would follow his very strict guidelines and take out the recycling and do this and feed the cat. And so finally he has somebody who is living up to all these standards. And we have to state that he works how do I explain it? I guess the CEO of the company the male lead works for, they have an app, and the app is Don't Marry, Date.
Yes.
And where was I going with this? Oh, and so in this app, he runs their compatibility thinking it's two guys. And I don't remember. Do you remember where she hits? It's 90 some odd % compatibility. And he's just over the moon happy that they've connected.
But he has no clue that she is female.
Correct.
And I love that because they've never met each other,
and she has no clue that he's male.
And by happenstance, they meet at a bar, restaurant.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And she thinks she's about to get a love confession, and from this guy that she's flirted with for years, and just about.
Is he a director?
He was the actor, wasn't he?
I don't think
know.
so.
I think
he was the actor.
He wanted to be a director because later on she was gonna be his writer.
Okay.
That's right.
But he's talking to her, and it seems like he's about to confess, and the male lead walks right in between them, and she gets nervous and she runs away and goes outside, and they're watching a football game together on his phone.
A soccer game. And then she sees the guy that she
got a crush on.
So she's embarrassed, basically, because she's telling the male lead, he likes me, and then he doesn't.
Right. Yep.
So they end up, for some reason, taking the same bus together, though. They don't know it, but yes.
Yeah.
At the bus stop.
Yes.
Wasn't that funny?
Yeah.
It's my favorite part.
At the bus.
I don't know if it's my favorite part. No,
Oh
it's
my gosh,
It's
so
the first
funny.
favorite part.
It's my first favorite part.
Yes.
It's the part that hooks you because you're like, what?
Yeah.
Because she's so embarrassed. He walks up, he sees her, and the male lead turns around and he's going to walk away because he's I'm too embarrassed for this girl. And she says, don't leave. I'm embarrassed enough. If you walk away, you'll make it worse. And so he says something strange to try to comfort her. I don't know.
Yep.
He's very OCD.
Yes,
And also, what is it? Engineer. He has an engineer brain.
Very analytical. He has a very different way of looking at life than 99.9% of the rest of the world.
Yeah, including us.
Yeah.
It's Lee Minke, and I've noticed it in other things he's been in, though. I like him so much.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
If you're listening, we like you a lot.
And she, oh my gosh. She's been in.
I know.
I just love her.
Me too.
And you know that she was in Perfect Kiss.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That's
Very
why,
young
That's why I
at the
watched
time.
that. It was because of her.
Yeah.
But she's the female lead. What's her name? Oh my gosh. We were going to say names and then we don't, but
I forget her name.
Oh, Namsi Sihe? Sihe? Namsihe? He. Namsihe. No, that's the guy's name.
I was like, I'm looking at the cast list. I'm like, I don't know what
Jiho.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Jiho.
Yeah. She's feeling sad. I've been rejected.
And how old is she? 31 or 32?
She's 30. She just turned 30.
Okay.
She's never been on a date, never been kissed. And she thinks, I'm just going to go for it. And so the bus pulls up and she kisses him and she leaves and gets on the bus. And he's standing there in shock.
And she's so proud of herself.
Yeah. And
She gets on the bus and she's smiling.
And I finally can say that I've kissed, even though it may be my last kiss ever. At least I know I've kissed someone.
And he is just standing there like frozen.
Right.
He misses the bus. It's so funny.
And it was the last bus.
Yeah, it was the last bus.
So then the cheapskate comes to buy a taxi. And they still don't know they're living together.
No.
But that's why it was such a great cliffhanger. And that's what sucks you in. I was like, what happens?
Yes.
And so, I feel like this whole drama, the cliffhangers are so good.
They are.
I think
really
I kept
kept track of the cliffhangers. That's funny.
not all of them because I started getting distracted, but
So before we move more into the whole thing, so we talked about her and her one friend. Should we talk about the third friends?
Now, the third friend and the CEO, oh my gosh, I love them.
Yes, and they have a history.
Love them.
yes. This is a risque drama for us.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Like, it is more risque than we normally watch.
And it was our first one.
It was probably tame.
And I remember you guys telling me they don't do anything like the whole sex and they don't do all that stuff in them, and we've learned a little differently.
Yeah.
So this was a little risque for thinking there was going to be nothing.
my
I know,
gosh.
sorry.
I really love that couple.
So it's like the first time around, I'm not sure if I really enjoyed them. But the second time,
I don't know how much attention I paid to them the first time.
Yeah. I didn't like her. She seemed so hard-hearted and just like someone I wouldn't be friends with. I don't know. But the second time around, I understood.
I loved her.
I understood her hard better, and she works she's not a CEO, but she works at a company, and she's really high paid, and she's tough.
Because she always has wanted to be a CEO.
And that's where her dreams and thoughts of the future have been shattered too, because she always wanted to be in charge of her own company and run her own life. And instead, she works with a bunch of men who treat her terribly.
Oh my gosh, a bunch of male chauvinist pigs. Really.
Yeah. And she does some stupid things.
She does. She does.
But she still shouldn't be treated like that.
No.
But who forgets to wear a bra?
She doesn't forget. She doesn't on
lost
purpose.
it, but then she loses it.
Because she takes it off because she doesn't want to wear it. But
But you find out it's really uncomfortable for her because of her body shape.
Right.
And so she's been in so much pain from it. That's what you learn. But all the men are staring.
Well, okay. And my thought, if we're going to talk about it, my thought was a lot of times she wears white blouses. If you're going to do that, don't wear a white blouse.
Yeah.
Not that. Yeah.
Anyway. And the one she did try to cover up in a trench coat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, we never really seen the past events, should we call it, between her and the CEO.
Right.
Yeah.
The CEO of the male lead.
He seems, out of all the characters, he seems to have it most together.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Like
he
in
is
every way.
Oh, he is. I really like him a lot.
Me too.
And I really like him a lot.
He and her had met, I don't know how far in advance of them meeting up again. But he's been, even though they have had no contact for however long, he is still totally smitten with her.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like head over heels.
He's ready to be all in.
Right.
Yes,
And
he
she's
is.
acting like she has no clue who he is. Never met you before. Don't know what you're talking about.
Right. And what room is it? 30?
He keeps saying 303, right?
303.
You don't remember room 303?
You don't remember 303?
And then finally it was 304.
That's right. But it's a long ways into it before you get to that part. So.
Yeah.
And he's like, she knew.
There's a lot of moments like that between them where she says something and it like melts his heart. Like he's just so happy. And they're very cute together.
Oh, they are.
Very cute.
And you find out later her hard heart is a lot to do with her mother.
Yes.
And I think she just built up this, I have to protect my mother. No one else will. And I'm going to be
And
alone.
take care of her.
Yeah, no one else is going to be willing to take care of my mom. So I'll be alone forever. Marriage is out and relationships are out. And so when you have that type of thinking, it affects everything. So she's living a very sad life.
And even back in grade school, when she moved into town, and that's how the three girls met, was in school, the rumor was that the mother was running a brothel, right? And had she been married, or I don't even remember, am I making that part up? But that was the rumor. And so you think that's who she is. And then you learn that, I'm assuming that wherever that came, maybe she started it. Who knows where that came from? But her whole life, for 30 years, she's been hiding the fact that her mother's crippled.
Yeah.
And I guess people thinking she worked at a brothel was better than them knowing she was crippled.
Strange.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
And we find that out because he decides to.
He sees a text come in.
Yes.
Because she won't let anybody know where she lives or come in or do anything. And so he's dropping her off and she gets out and he sees a text come in. Honey, I'm waiting for you. I don't know what it says.
Yeah. And so she's cheating on me right away. He's thinking of all the reasons why she'd be cheating.
Or she's married.
Yeah.
Yes. So he decides to sneak in after her. And wow, he sees her mother and he sees her walking her mother into the apartment.
And how tender and sweet she was with her.
She was. And so what does he do? He's there the next morning.
Ready to meet the mom.
Ready to meet the mom.
Which does not make her happy.
No.
Because she does not want anybody. And I wonder, do the other two girls even know this about her?
I know. I think
they do.
You think so?
I think they do, but I wasn't positive.
Because they never discuss it.
No.
But I think they do.
They must, since they are friends. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, he's there to take her to
the train station,
the bus station or whatever. Yes. He says, I'll take you.
And that changed that was like the pivotal moment for their relationship.
Even though she got mad. And that's when you need to be more open and not hide from the world. So
it literally changed her life.
She listened and so that's such a good part of this story.
It is.
But
yes, let's get back.
Let's get back to the best. Oh my goodness. I just love them. I love the female lead and male lead. I love it so much.
So what do you want to talk about next then?
I don't know. Our favorite parts.
So should we talk about
when they find out?
Because we kind of left it out.
I know.
Them kissing at the bus stop. So now where do we go?
They finally meet in their apartment, in their house.
I think it's like the next day.
Yeah, the next morning.
Yeah.
And aren't they shocked? Because I'll never see him again.
Yeah. Surprise. Yeah, I can kiss him. I'll never see him again.
It's a long story, but basically for a while they try to be roommates and he's worried, do you like me? You kissed me.
And she was telling him, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And then later on, oh my goodness, later on in the story when he tells her, that wasn't a kiss, that was a peck. But it froze him.
At first, though, he said, what did he call it? An attack. He said you attacked. Did he say attack?
I don't remember.
Something like I was innocent and you attacked me or something.
I don't remember.
I forget the word he used. I don't know if it was that. But his mom finds out that she's living there, and that's when everything falls apart.
And they both have parent issues.
Yeah.
So
he has wounds from his parents, and his dad seemed wonderful and loving, and then some things happened and he proved to not be.
Right.
So
apparently at
loving.
one point they were very close, it seemed.
Yeah.
And he really looked up to his dad.
That's a sad part that never really, I don't know, does it get resolved?
I think in a way it does.
In a way it does.
Yeah.
They at least talk and hash it out.
Yeah.
And then he'll go there for holidays.
Yeah, that's right.
But a really good, actually, it really helps their relationship. is that she ends up going to his parents' home.
Wait, first, we need to say they get married.
Yes.
Even though he obviously doesn't want to have any kind of relationship with anybody. And she's, at this point, you think she's starting to like him, but I think she knows that there's a wall there.
Yeah.
They say, all his colleagues say, all he cares about is paying off his loan, his cat.
Taking care of his cat. And that's why he needs a roommate, is so he can pay down his mortgage quicker. And the room she's staying in, he tells her up front, this is the room I'm going to die in.
Yes.
I'm going to live in this house until I die, and that's the room I'm going to die in because the ventilation is good, right?
He thinks like that. It's
Right?
crazy.
It is very strange.
He's so strange.
Yeah. Then you find out why he's so strange.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what?
The whole marriage thing, because he's supposed to go on blind dates, but he doesn't want to. And then he thinks, she's a good tenant. We should be in a contract marriage, basically.
Yes.
And so they are, and it's just so cute. And that's probably why I was in the mood for a contract marriage drama.
Yes.
Because I love this one so much.
But the contract is basically like a tenancy, though.
Yeah.
And so it's not really a marriage.
I know.
Contract.
But basically,
Anybody looking at it would say that's a tenant.
It was good for 2 years.
and then the plan was to get divorced.
Right.
She gives up writing.
She does what?
We should talk.
That is really terrible.
When
Yes.
she gives up her writing career. That
Because
whole situation
Oh my
is so
gosh.
sad.
yes.
Awful. Because she's
Do you need to
sexually
say
assaulted.
I was going to say, do you need to say a little more? Because we jumped in the middle of that situation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
she
don't know.
was-
I'm all over the
Well,
place.
that's when she decided to move out. Remember?
Oh,
they were
yes, you're right. So that's when she decides to marry him, basically.
not until later when he actually proposes it. At that point, she had moved. Remember, they had just decided, okay, I'm going to move out because I didn't know that.
Okay. I don't
And
know.
so that's why she goes to that place and is going to stay there. What is it?
It's like a basement, a room, or a
It's
office
where
or something.
the office is, but there's like a bed type. Is there a bed in there?
Yeah, or a couch
Yeah,
I
or
think
something.
it's a couch
Okay.
But she can't stay there.
No.
because
'Cause-
the guy
yeah.
that she originally had a crush on.
Gets drunk and tries to grab her.
Rape
and
her.
She barely got out. I'm glad
Yes.
she pushed him. And then it's like they all gang up against her. People that she trusted and
Right.
looked up to. It was almost like you just need to accept his apology and move on.
Yes.
That she worked with.
Yeah. There's no like accountability for what he
Mm-mm.
did. It was like no big deal. These things happen. Do
Yes.
they? They shouldn't.
No.
So then she's like
So,
wandering the
Yeah.
street all night long, and she just happens to wander back to his place, right? Isn't that how it went? And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
did she go inside, or did he see her outside? I
She
don't even-
went inside, and I think that's when he proposes. And then she's no, and she decides to leave because she's thinking, I can't stay here. He's crazy. He just said, will you marry me?
And is that when she says, I'm taking the next bus, the first bus out in the morning, so you won't have to see me? And then
That's
she
right.
sleeps till noon or something, and she wakes up and doesn't realize
Well,
it.
no,
He's
it's
already
6
back.
o'clock.
6 p.m.
6
Yeah, 'cause
p.m.
he's back from work already.
And she's thinking it's 6 a.m.
Yes,
It was pretty funny.
it was pretty funny.
It was funny. But then she's at the bus station because she's going to go home.
Mhm.
That's 4 hours from Seoul. So remember that?
Oh, yeah. And he's coming to bring her things.
That's right.
And she decides, I should just marry him.
Yeah.
So he asks her too.
No, that's when she says, will you marry me?
Yes. But then he says, do you like me?
And she said, no. And he's, okay, then yes. They're so odd. They're so odd.
They are the odd couple.
But it's just
It's a great way, though.
I know. All right. Tell us a favorite moment.
I liked the part, a favorite moment. Okay, after he's made kimchi with her mom and
Family.
everybody there, when he is looking for her and she's down at the beach.
Yeah.
and they end up having their first kiss. I like
first
that
real
part.
kiss.
Yes, their first real kiss. I like that part a lot.
It is super cute.
I don't know if this is a favorite, but I think it is, but not one to write home about. But it just was a tender moment, and you see the mom's heart is when they were getting married, and the female lead, went out of the room or something, and the mother, you'll have to correct me where I'm wrong here. The mother was in the room, and so the male lead comes in, and she's trying to say, there's 3 things I want from you, or maybe, I don't, do you remember? And he says to her something along the lines of, I can't promise you those things, but what I can promise you is that I will never make her, was it uncomfortable or give up her dreams or something?
Yeah, hindrance to her dreams.
Yeah, he would never be a hindrance to her. That's right. And it just showed, one, the mom's heart, that she just wants the best for her daughter and wants to not give up on her dreams like she felt like she needed to do. And then he, even though this was a contract marriage, he supposedly didn't have any feelings for her. He didn't want to be in her way and hold her back in any way. So they both wanted the exact same things for her.
And it shows his care for her, even though she's a tenant.
Right. So what would you say, Amanda?
I love both of the things you both said, but also, and I don't know if we can really need to get into all of this, but when she's with the coworker who has the motorcycle.
Oh, yes. I forgot that part. Yes.
She has the coworker with the motorcycle that's worth, I don't know how much, $40,000, something crazy. The motorcycle.
It's worth a lot
more than that.
A lot more than that. I don't remember, but the male, something happens, and what's his name? Namsihi?
The male lead.
Okay, I'm sorry for my pronunciation. He is going to fall, and rather than crash into the motorcycle, because he almost was going to hit and destroy the side mirror, he does like acrobats.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
On the ground, and he hurts himself.
Yes.
But he did the calculation, and it was cheaper to pay for medical bills than the side mirror. And it just shows he's so cheap. Left brain loan.
Yeah.
So you realize his priority. But then, like, within that episode or the next episode, he has suspicions about this guy, and he's really worried about her.
Because they think that
he's a stalker.
All these things.
Yes.
And so he's so worried about Shiho. So he runs up that big
Oh my
hill.
gosh, at least 20 minutes uphill.
Yeah, they're like, it'll be a 30-minute walk, and he runs it.
Yes.
He runs uphill.
And his coat's left behind.
His briefcase.
Yeah.
He's anything to get to her. And he said, I would never hit a person. And so he kicks the side mirror off and grabs her hand and leaves with her.
But he kicks the bike too.
Yeah, he kicks the whole bike down. Yeah. But it was so.
Money didn't care then.
No, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And it was so unexpected and
absolutely.
shocking. I was so shocked.
The guy was shocked too because
he
knows
about the contract
the entire story.
Yeah. But it was just, it was one of those classic moments. You always have the male leads doing something heroic, but it was so cool.
Yes,
it was so
on
cool.
many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess to piggyback on this, he said, I would never hit a person. At the end, he beats up the guy that tried to assault Jiho.
Yeah, later on.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would hit a person.
Yeah.
For her, like, it changes.
Yeah. So another funny part that was way earlier in it than this was when he was meeting her parents.
Oh,
yes. She ahead of time gives him the list of things to say depending on how the conversation's going with the dad. And it's not working. It was like the last thing was that he needed to get down on his knees, right? and things are not going well, and the male lead's standing there in front of the dad, and so she kicks him in the back of the knee, so he has to fall to his knees in front of her dad, and he's the last thing he ever wanted to say, he's now having to say it. That was so funny.
And he's in shock. He can't believe that she kicked him.
But later on, he praised her and said how quick thinking she was, and how great she is at doing things on the spot like that. So that was a plus for him, even though he didn't like the reason why.
And I think he's had to say, I'll never make her lift a finger.
That's right. Yes. When she's doing a lot of work at the house, as it was.
Yeah. All lies.
Oh, that was funny.
So what did you think of her coworker, him and their relationship and all of that?
Felt like he was a young player.
Yeah.
I think he liked her genuinely, but then nothing deep. Like he'd like the next girl that came along.
Do you think so? I think he really liked her.
I think he did it first, but
I think he realized that there was more to it, and so he backed off. He was a gentleman
because
and backed
at
off.
First he was saying, this isn't a marriage you have.
Right.
And it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, what a jerk. He's trying to get her to cheat or leave her husband, but it's all fake.
And it all made sense when he explained it all. But beforehand, you're going, how does he know all this stuff about?
He did seem like a stalker.
He did.
He did. He did.
And I have mixed feelings about him. I like him, but there's parts of it I didn't like about him, as an actor, not in this drama, I like him.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Business proposal.
Yes. We think he's great, but as his character, there are parts of the character I liked and parts of it I didn't. So I had mixed feelings about it.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So what other good parts do we want to talk about? There's so many, actually.
I know. I know we could go on and on, but I love how everything in the end gets resolved with everyone.
It
like
does.
they start off, life isn't as they expected. How many of us can relate to those feelings? I like even Jiho, like she doesn't have a place to go. I felt like that in my late 20s. I don't really have anywhere to live. I'm going to rent a room, or it's like wandering listfully around life. I don't know what to do for a job. I don't even like my jobs. It was rough. So it's all of them. They're not where they want to be. But at the end, they've all
reconciled everything.
Yeah. So I just love that.
And also, should we talk about the CEO again? What he does to the one guy that was particularly chauvinistic towards her?
Oh, that she worked.
Yeah.
His now girlfriend.
Yes.
What does he do, though?
He beats him up a bit.
No, she beats him up.
He stood up for her.
Yes.
Because he had a business dealing with this company. And he
lost a whole deal for her.
Right.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I love the way he did that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was
the first time I watched it, I didn't catch on. Like I got it, but the second time I understood way more. And they understood what he was doing too.
They did.
But it didn't change their behavior, did it?
No. Nope. They were jerks.
They were complete jerks.
So do we want to say anything about the male lead's, I guess I would say, original relationship? What do we think about that?
It's so sad.
I know.
It is.
So maybe we just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so we'll move on from that. I like that she also, as they were starting really to develop feelings for each other, and I think they both knew it, and she finally realized that something needed to happen to get him to move the needle, right? Because he was stuck in his ways.
Yeah.
And so she actually stood up for herself and decided that she was going to do some things to make him wake up
Yeah.
and get out of the funk he was in, right? And I like that she just,
Because he never actually confesses his feelings to her.
Right.
He never says anything about how he feels.
but it's obvious in what he does in the
Mhm.
action, even though he doesn't say it. And I think she's getting frustrated with the fact that he won't say anything.
She needed more.
Yes.
And it's like the one time he was going to confess, he like chickened out.
Mhm.
She also, it was bad timing. He'd waited so long. And
Yeah.
the first time I watched, this whole part was really hard for me. And it made me,
Yeah.
it like really hard for me.
Yeah.
Was it hard for
Yes.
you?
I was thinking, what's going on? Is
Right.
that the way it's going to end?
Right.
And yeah. And so it made me even question,
Mm.
like, as much as I loved it, like I said on last week's episode, I was like, do I love it? I hate the ending. But watching it this second time, I don't hate the ending.
Yeah.
I feel like it ended great.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe it's because we're used to bad endings.
Maybe.
But it's really not bad.
No.
She intends to come back to him.
Yes. And she has a plan in
Mhm.
place of what she's going to do and how she's going to do it and when she's
Yes.
going to do it.
Uh-huh.
But it's sad that when she leaves him, he is devastated.
He has
Yes.
a complete
Which-
meltdown.
Totally shocked him.
Yes.
He sells his house, which was what
Yes.
he lived for.
He was going to die in that bedroom.
Yes.
And he sold the house.
Because he couldn't be in that house any longer without her there. Just was too much for him.
I know. So sad. It is.
Right.
And he hasn't gone to work in like a month.
Right?
Yes.
And I think it's been 3 or 4 months that they're apart.
Really? I think so.
I think it was like 3 or 4 months.
It was like all the time he had accumulated that because he'd never taken a day off from work. So all the PTO that he
Mhm.
had, he was taking it all.
Then he planned on quitting.
Yeah.
What was he going to do? I don't know. Drink himself to death. It was
Maybe.
terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. But then it ended up in.
and it's only 20 or 30 minutes of sadness.
But it
And
doesn't
by
make
the
you
way,
cry.
it's funny that they end up in the same place that the other people were living in.
Yeah. How that all
Oh,
came
yeah.
to be.
Yeah. They're really bad at running out their places.
A lot of miscommunication.
Yeah.
We find that a lot in a lot of dramas, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
But in this case, it was good that it was miscommunication.
Yes.
Anything else we want to spoil for everybody?
Hopefully, people know we spoil things by now. Remember when we started off and we're like, we won't spoil things?
That's
And
right.
now we're like, oh, you know what you're getting. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if I want to say that.
No, tell.
It just, there are different views on marriage. And she says, I don't think marriage is sacred. I think love is sacred. And of course, I disagree with that.
Right.
But it's because her view of marriage was we have to honor this patriarchal system. And that's not sacred. I would understand that.
Yeah.
but-
But I like the fact that in the end, they did what was right for them.
Mhm.
Fact that the contract worked for them. And that's what
Mhm.
they went back to. But
Yeah.
every year they would relook at it.
And renegotiate.
Yeah, as they grew and whatever, it changed. But I like the fact that you saw them sitting down and rewriting out a
But
contract.
it wasn't a tenancy.
Correct.
No, it was-
Correct.
yeah.
Yes.
It was their marriage
It was a
contract.
completely different
Yeah.
feel to the whole thing.
And even though at first they decide they're not going to get married, they register their marriage a couple years later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
So
thought that was sweet because they didn't really register it, and their divorce wasn't really a divorce. It was just they didn't register their marriage.
yeah. So they were married the whole time.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we should do marriage contracts, Serina.
Should we?
Yeah. Set out some terms.
What would we put in it?
I don't know.
That they have to let us watch so many hours of K-drama a week without giving us crap?
And podcast.
And podcasts,
Yes.
yes.
I think we
A
should.
Korean clause.
I like it. And she becomes a writer,
Yes.
and she has a
Yes.
place to live.
Yes.
And her favorite animal was a snail because they carry their home with them.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And he got her a snail, a plush. Remember
Yes.
Well, she won it herself.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
true.
true. I forgot.
With his money.
Yes. He couldn't shoot, could he?
He couldn't do anything.
No.
That just was not his strong point.
Mm-mm. And then who's Soji, which you're going to criticize my name. Anyway, she starts her own company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fitting bras.
Yes.
Yeah,
So appropriate for her.
it is.
And they get married, which was
Yes.
shocking because she proposed to him in a weird way. Do you want to use my flight miles? You have to be my family.
You know what's interesting though?
What?
It's interesting that when you go back to the app name, Don't Marry, Date, and they all three end up getting married.
Yeah. That is funny.
With that, okay, so the male or the female lead's friend, the first one we talked about, where she had the boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
in the office where the CEO and they all
Yes.
they work. What do you think of the gal? Her character's kind of fun, but I don't like the fact that she's totally hitting on him.
I
and
know.
She
I don't.
was.
She
And she was
what
at the wedding too. And she was going the guy with the lifts and the shoe.
yeah.
And he was going, what lifts? She was just insulting him and all
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that. She was interested.
Yeah. She kind of had a seedy little side to her, didn't she?
She
In
did.
more ways than one.
Yes.
She did.
So
She did.
I didn't like her either.
Yeah. Yeah. She was at work. I think she was good at what she did. But aside from that, yeah, she did not have a good character.
And yet you think that she's this good, wholesome character, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, wow.
Yeah. You find out there's a little more to her.
Yeah.
So
What else?
I can't. I don't know. If
The
we
music.
talk more, I'll
What
think
about
of
the
it.
music?
I like the music.
Mhm.
Obviously,
I
you love
talked
it.
about that.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
I do too.
I just think music just makes or breaks a drama. And
It can.
I've noticed recently, there's a lot of dramas that don't really have any in it, and I miss it.
I know, me too. Some of the new ones don't.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's just hard to get. I don't know. I don't
just
know
more
why.
cost, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe stop being cheap.
I don't. We want more music, good music. Yeah,
The very end. Did you like what she says?
remind us.
To everyone who is living at this moment,
Mm.
with all our sincerity, we wish you good luck. After all, this life for all of us, it is our first time.
I like that. Yeah,
So nice.
yeah.
Oh, I just loved it. I loved it.
And Maureen's sister is here with us, and she's giving 2 thumbs up.
Should we rate it? Do we need to?
We have to, right?
We have to.
We've never not rated one.
Okay. 10 for me.
Yes, I think a 10.
A 10 for me.
Oh, we're all back to
Mhm.
10s.
We always said that
And
for a
I
while.
think it's my favorite one.
Of all time,
Yeah.
until you watch a different one.
It's in my top 5.
It has to be 1 or 2. And maybe part of it is just because it's the first one that I ever saw.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I love it. It's good.
top
It really is good.
So if you haven't seen it, hopefully we've made you want to watch it.
Or we ruined it for you.
But either way, you
Please
should watch
watch
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should.
All right. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the K-Drama Divas podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we did. Before we part ways, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on social media at K-Drama Divas to stay up to date on recent podcasts and to share your thoughts and recommendations.